This podcast contains strong language and adult themes from the outset.
Finding the funny. Finding the funny. With Ruth and Ange, finding the funny.
This week we are incredibly excited to welcome, I think, Ange, one of our favourite people from the castle, don't you think?
Faux Giselle.
And I know you have already got a rap lined up for this person.
Yeah.
So we have seen this person on our TV screens over the last few weeks, every night. She can be heard on Radio 1 Extra every day at 11 p.m.
Monday to Thursday,
11 p.m. Ange, can you introduce for us? We welcome to Finding the Funny. Go!
S to the N to the double O-C-H-I-E, Shy! Woo!
Oh my God, yes! The vibes are real and the vibes are great. That was amazing, just saying. I need that as a drop.
Yes,
Yeah.
mate. I loved hearing you do your C to the L to the E to the D.
Oh, man like Claire don't know about me.
That's the one, man like Claire.
Don't know about me!
Yeah, I never met him. And then I was about to meet him. I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited to meet him. We actually got him to speak, by the way. He broke character and he spoke.
Did he?
Yeah.
Is
yeah,
he
with
very,
me and Danny. Was it me and Danny? Yeah.
Is he very Welsh?
He is very, very Welsh. Yeah, he's very Welsh. But yeah, he definitely spoke, and I was like, "Oh my God!" Like he's speaking. But yeah, and then he just stopped.
Well, Snoochie, look, we are so happy to have you. We can't believe you're here. Ange and I are massive fans of I'm A Celeb, and very, very early on, we were like chatting about who we loved, and you came up top of our list. We absolutely loved you.
Yeah.
I was gutted that you went so early. I think you were genuinely, I think you were robbed.
I actually think a lot of the women this year were robbed. I don't know what it was. It seemed to be that I think, so you went and Kadina went and then Louise went. I'm like, hang on.
Yeah.
I think the women this year were far better than the men, to be honest.
I agree.
There was so many strong women in there, like, and they're all amazing, and all of their stories as well. Like getting to know them, like, and hearing them speak about their stories was so great. Like, there's so many powerful women in there as well, and Louise as well. Like my mum in there, she's just amazing.
Yeah, she's lovely.
Yeah, she was
talking of the men. We had a question in from someone, and I don't know whether you will. I don't know whether you'll answer this, but was there any beef with Adam Woodyard in the camp? Because for us as viewers, it felt like there was a bit at times.
With who? With Adam?
Adam, yeah.
Oh my God, Adam was like my best friend in the castle. Like,
Was he?
Yeah. When I came out and I told my mum was like, what? Would never have known. But Adam was definitely like my bestie in the castle, alongside Frankie as well, of course. But like, when we had to go into isolation the second time because of the storm, I was literally like crying. I was like, ah! And he had smuggled in sweets and he was giving me a hug and then he gave me a Werther's original and he was like, everything's going to be all right. And also, I didn't know, but I took my braids out in the castle, so I didn't prepare for it. So I had nothing for like my natural hair. And when you go and do like a trial and you get wet, you get to have like a proper shower downstairs and there's proper stuff in it, but you can't bring it upstairs to the castle. So Adam had come from a trial and then he had snuck up shea butter conditioner for my hair and he gave it to me. I think he got in trouble for it. I think he might have got in trouble, but yeah, he snuck up that. So I don't know. He was like my bestie in the castle, so I didn't see any of that.
That's so interesting because I don't think he came across like that, did he, Ange?
Well, and I suppose this is the thing, isn't it? So much of it is all in the edit. You know, what they kind of want you to see, what, you know, people might take from that situation or what goes on. So I suppose it's really nice to kind of hear from you, who has been in there and knows these people inside out and has spent a huge amount of time with them for the last few weeks, that actually some of maybe the edit that we see is actually very different.
He did have beef one time, and this was with a dessert that we got, and it was called pudding fruit, which I can't even believe it's called pudding fruit. Apparently it's supposed to taste like chocolate, and it tasted like, well, when I sniffed it, it smelled like Magnum, my cat's litter tray of wee.
Lush.
And I can only imagine that it tasted like cat wee as well. And I went to the privy, to the toilet, just to get rid of it. And then as I opened the door, Adam literally ran up the stairs. He was bright red, eyes watering, and for the whole night, like, he couldn't really sleep properly. He was in his hammock swinging, but he didn't zip it up because he thought he was going to vomit out of his mouth and then go out the back as well. So
I tell you what Adam didn't mention is the fact that he had whelks in Brighton, did he? He didn't talk about that very much.
He had whelks in Brighton about 6 weeks ago. He said that about 50 times. Yeah.
That was so
mate.
funny.
Big into the whelks.
I love
whelks.
He loves it.
I love whelks.
He's coming over to my mum's house as well because his RV's in Crystal Palace. So he said that he's going to come over and see the grotto as well that my mum makes. So yeah, I honestly, I loved Adam. He was like so funny in the castle and kept everyone so happy and like crying with tears.
That's so nice to hear.
So Snoochie, was there anyone in there that you really didn't get on with? That you were like, no, I'm not asking you to like bring beef, but was there anyone that you were like, oh, they're just not my kind of person, or like that's not my vibe?
What? If there was beef to bring, I'd definitely bring the beef. It's just like, no, I know, but there's nothing to say. Like, it's so crazy. Like, we're already in a WhatsApp group already. Like,
brilliant.
There wasn't anyone in there that like I had an issue with or anything like that. Obviously, when you're in the castle, emotions could get high and like you might argue over rice or something like that. But there wasn't anyone that I think anyone really hated, to be honest. It's kind of crazy because when I was going in there, I was thinking, oh my God, what if like, you know, there's going to be like mad drama and stuff. But there wasn't really like any of that, to be fair.
Did you feel like when they approached you to say, will you come on I'm a Celeb, was there any bit of you that kind of went, oh shit, no, maybe I shouldn't do that, or were kind of worried, or were you more excited about going to do it and the kind of opportunity it was to get in there and show yourself a little bit?
So I had said to my mum, I've always watched the show. So I said to my mum, I think it was like 5 months before, I was like, oh, could you imagine if I ever went on there? And she was just like, as if, couldn't even imagine it because I'm scared of everything, basically. And then I would say 4 months later, I was on the phone to my mum as well. And I got an email come through from my agent. She said, would you ever consider I'm a Celebrity? They're interested. And I was like, ah! And started screaming straight away to my mum. But this was just for like the initial meeting at first.
Okay,
so I was already screaming. So I went in for the meeting, had a good time. I was a little bit hungover though, but had a great time. So bad. And I came out and I was like, oh no, I've just ruined it. But yeah, had the meeting and then didn't hear back for a while. So I was like, oh, okay, well, they've seen me anyway. So if they think in the future, then that'll be fine. And then when my agent called me, I just come out of a casting. She was like, they want you to go on. And I was like, what? I was like, what? And then I was like, can I call you back? Because I don't know what to say. And I didn't know what to say for like, I couldn't believe it because I thought I was hungover. I've just ruined it. And then she's saying you're going in, like, and I was like, oh my God. But honestly, like when we had like we had a Zoom later on that night, and I was like, absolutely, like I've always watched the show, and it's been something I've always wanted to do. So yeah, there was no like, oh, I don't know if I should do that. Like I just really wanted to get in there. To be fair,
just also as well, Snooch. I like calling you Snooch.
Snooch, I love Snooch.
I call Ruth Patty. Just so when I refer to her, she's Pats. Just so there's no confusion. You're like, who the hell's Patty?
We don't know why. We don't know where it's come from. Nobody knows why she calls me Patty. It's just a thing.
Yeah. Can I just say I'm really here for it because some of my favourite food is Jamaican patties. So
there you go. There you go.
Hey, listen. Have you ever had a Jamaican patty from Wenzel's? I absolutely fucking love those. They're so good.
I'm not. I need to try then.
What's in the Jamaican patty from Wenzel's then? What is in it?
It is a Jamaican patty, like it's slightly spiced sort of bit. It's amazing. It's like it looks like a Cornish pasty, but it's like slightly spiced sort of bit. You would love them, Ange. You would absolutely love them.
I'm getting straight on the spiced patty.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got it.
Snoochie, just quick, like on like your day job, just to sort of talk a little bit about what you do outside of the castle, because that is all. Ange and I want to talk about that too. How did you get into DJing? Like, because obviously you work at Radio 1 Extra. That's such a cool job. Like, how did that start for you?
So I started off by doing an online YouTube channel. This is when I was like 18 or something, or 19, I can't remember, 10 years ago. And it was about the UK grime and rap news that was going on in the scene at the time. And then one of my favourite rappers, he's called Giggs from South London, Prime Minister
Giggs,
of South London.
I know, I've heard of Giggs.
Love Giggs.
Yeah.
He went away for a bit, so I did this thing called the Giggs Report, which whilst he was away, I was trying to reenact his music videos to make it look like I was trying to find him. So kind of like legally stalk him. And then when he came back, he was just like, oh, my mum's telling me that there's like some crazy girl that's been trying to find me. And then we linked up, we met up, did like a spoof together. And then from then on, really, I started clipping like bits that I'd made and like put it into like a little showreel type stuff. Then I went to community radio. So I was doing community radio. Then I went to online radio, and online I could like drink, swear, do what I want, say what I want, play what I want as well. So then after that, I did a residency on my next show, which was 4 people, and you interchange every week for the month. And then after that finished, they wanted to put me somewhere on the station. But I felt like, for me, daytime, because I came from online radio where I could do what I want, I felt like daytime for me wasn't like the best thing.
A bit more restrictive.
Yeah. So then Charlie Stuff was doing Radio 1. I know, same. He's great. He's doing Radio 1 and 1 Extra. And he said to me at like one of my first 1 Extra live shows, I think you're going to be getting a show soon. And I was like, there's nowhere for me to fit on the station at the moment. And then literally, I think a couple of days later, he left for Apple Music. And then I basically took over that slot a little bit later, 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. So then, that's how that happened. Really.
Amazing.
So the other question about the radio is, when are you having Ange and I on?
Yeah. Oh my God, if you guys want to come on, you should absolutely come on. But just letting
I would absolutely love to come on your show. And would fucking love it.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I'll be so here for this. That can absolutely be arranged. Also, I mean, if you guys drink, then it'll be great to have a shot as well.
I mean, oh my God, we will do shots.
I think when we come on, not an if, this is a when. We need to get on this Magnum wine, because obviously the cat is called Magnum. You love Magnum, the cat, plus the drink. I've never had Magnum. I think we should make this a Magnum mashup with a load of fucking music and go absolutely mental.
And Jamaican patties.
I love the way, and a Jamaican patty. And I love the way that you said Magnum mashup. I think we should do Monday Magnum mashup as well.
Oh, there we go. we have just sorted that. A Monday Magnum mashup. In.
Have you seen what a Magnum? Have you seen what a Magnum looks like before?
The little bottles. Yes. They're like little sort of stubby bottles, aren't they? Yes. Because I keep seeing them and thinking, I've got to. What does it taste like?
So it's really hard to well, I would say it tastes like a little bit of cherry in there, but thankfully there's no cherries because I'm allergic and it gives me hives. But also it tastes a little bit like some cowpole cough medicine. It's very weird, but it does taste nice. It does taste nice.
Okay. Talking about tasting things, Snoochie. Talking about tasting things, one of my favourite bits on I'm A Celeb, which I'm sure lots of people have said to you, was the cow's nose.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
When you opened that and you were like, it looks like my cat's nose!
Seriously. I was like, I've always wanted to do an eating chart, but when I saw that, I was mortified because I couldn't see the cocktail stick at first, so I thought they was going to tell me to eat the whole thing. So I was like, nah, mate, that's absolutely wild. And I saw whiskers, like there was whiskers coming off it as well. Like, but at first I couldn't see if it was a nose or if it looked like mold as well. So I was like, no, this is getting too far now. It's too far.
Disgusting.
But then when I came back and sat down, then they basically told me that it was just the cocktail stick.
The tiny bit.
Of the nose, and that was fine. That was fine. It was
I couldn't believe how
massive it was.
You bossed that. You were like literally in the zone. I'm here. I'm eating this shit, and I'm on it. You were honestly, you were amazing. I thought, and then you got Danny there vomiting every 5 seconds.
Oh my God! I think that was the funniest thing as well, because Danny would vomit whilst I was eating too, not like he'd vomit into the actual bucket, and I'm like trying to eat like a cow's arsehole, and I'm like, excuse me, let me eat this. But it was really fun. I had the best time doing that.
We said that. We were like, there's Snooch eating a cow's asshole, and there's Danny vomiting.
Danny throwing up.
Like, so weird.
Oh, my God. I think the worst thing about that is when I had to spin the wheel and I ended up on a mill. I was like, oh, my God, of course. I had to get, like, the side of the pig's uterus and the vomit fruit as well. The vomit fruit is the worst thing that I've ever had in my entire life.
Oh, God. I bet the smell alone is absolutely...
The smell of it's terrible, but also it's full of, like, pips in there that look like pomegranate seeds, and you can't chew them. So there's I would say there was like about 100 pips in there. So you had to use the pig's uterus to swallow it,
kind
like
of rush that
paracetamol
down.
Yeah, it was just a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Talking of Danny, I'll own it. I really wanted Simon to win. He was when we were down to the final 3 and then the final 2. I really, really wanted Simon to win. Did you think Danny would do it? Who was your winner? Who did you want to win it?
Well, obviously I loved Frankie as well. But I was quite close to Frankie and Danny as well. So I mean, when we got in, I think Frankie said it on our coming out interview as well. But like, I just thought Danny would win anyway. He's just like such a great guy, and he's like the castle clown as well. So he's always like up to jokes and stuff. We used to rap together as well. So
amazing.
I think he was great actually, deserving.
Also,
but Simon, aka Farty Pants, I'm gonna miss that.
Farty Pants,
up alarm clock.
I loved.
The farting was incredible. I love a fart. I loved as well. Love a fart.
There was bass and vibrations coming out of that fart, and I hadn't had music in ages. So I was like, this is the closest I'm gonna get to music, mate. And he was doing it. He was doing.
And I also just have to note before we move on, David Ginola. Now, is he as hot and sexy in real life as he appears on the screen?
Right, so let me tell you. So obviously Frankie, Matty and Danny was calling him Dad. And obviously we've got Mum in the camp as well, Louise. But I kept saying that I can't call David Dad because I can't be thinking about my dad like that. Like he's like that. And he used to do like this mad lunge over the campfire as well. And every time he'd get into a lunge, I'm just like,
hello.
Like, he is very hot. He is very hot. I can't lie. That's why I refuse to call him Dad. No, he had to be David to me.
Talking of a lunge, I love the fact that you taught the whole nation how to properly twerk with your leggings. That was hilarious. And then I saw you in the chicken shop giving it large, twerking.
Back again with the twerks. Oh my god, that was actually fun. Seeing Matty do a twerk. Matty was doing like some sort of like chicken whilst he was twerking. It was so cute though. It was so cute.
It was very funny. Yeah. Right, Snooch, we have a little segment on our podcast called What Gets on My Shitting Tits? And we were hoping that you might have something you can bring to us for this about something that just really pisses you off.
Annoys you.
All right, for me, it is going to be unannounced FaceTime calls from like people that you haven't spoke to. It's got to be that for me. It's honestly got to be that for me because it's just like you might be having a conversation with someone, like texting and that, and then all of a sudden
they ring.
And then you're looking at it,
you know
like, what the hell?
I do that a lot, Snoochie. I do that a lot.
What do you, Pat?
Yeah, if I'm in a text conversation, I actually did it at the weekend.
No, you need to stop doing that because that's shit. That is. That really is shit.
No, but you know what? I don't mind it if we're texting and then it goes to a FaceTime or something. That's fine.
No, I don't even like that.
You text someone else and then like it just comes up from like someone else and you're like, what the hell? And then you look at yourself because the phone's down low. It's a mad angle as well. Like, you haven't spoke to them in ages and you're just like, you don't even know how to pick up the phone. It's just like, I just have to like kind of let it ring and text back, go, what's up?
Yeah. I don't even like, even if I'm texting with someone and then they try and ring me, I'm like, no, right now this is just a text conversation.
So you're very firm on it, Ange. You are a hard no.
And I'm with Snooch because that really does piss me off when people just think, oh, I'm texting, I'll just ring her. No,
really?
Yeah, I don't like it, and it does.
What
get
about
on
if
my
I
tits.
do it as your sibling?
Same.
Even though we're part of the same pod.
I'll just let it ring out.
Oh well, yeah, you do that all the fucking time anyway. You love letting phone calls.
I do.
And just to let you know, Snoochie, Ange is terrible with her phone. Like, apps, and she's now got an Apple Watch, so it rings on her wrist, and yet she still doesn't answer. It's absolutely outrageous.
I'm not big into
over the Apple Watch thing. It just like I saw it the other day properly, like and the guy was like talking on his watch.
Yeah,
what's going on?
Yeah.
That's too much. It's too much.
Like you're in Star Trek or something.
Yeah, can you do FaceTime on the Apple Watch as well?
No, well, not on mine. Mine's sort of an older sort of Series 2 or something, quite an old one now. I mean, you probably can on like the latest model.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not. I actually don't really like talking much on the phones, really. I'd rather just be.
You don't, do you?
No.
Which is interesting because we do a podcast, which is essentially like just talking on the phone.
Yeah, but I think
literally,
because I know this happens every week, and I've got to turn up. I've got to look.
Okay,
smart,
so what you're saying is unknown people who just ring you out the blue.
Yeah,
out the blue and unannounced. It's got to be that. Because do you know what? Even if it's like dating someone, like sometimes they might ring you at random. Like I'm in bed. I'm in bed. Like my hair's looking mashed up right now. I'm looking like a back foot, and you're just calling me on FaceTime. Like, you know, the lights are off. Like now I have to get up, turn my lights on, quickly put like a little bit of like eyebrow gel on and stuff. Like you've got to give me at least a 5-minute warning. That's what I would say. Like,
did you say? Snooch,
mate.
Did you say looking like a back foot?
Yeah, like a back foot. No, honestly, like sometimes my hair's like, like the back foot, like the back of your foot.
like a heel, like a heel. You're looking like a heel.
Like a heel, yeah, like seriously.
Right, okay.
The back of my heel. Sometimes if I haven't had a pedicure, which I still haven't had a pedicure yet, by the way, my foot is quite dry. So you know, I'm just like in my bed. I'm not moisturised properly. My skin's dry now. You want to do FaceTime?
You're looking like a heel.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I'm looking like a heel, so it's just no. It's a no for me. But
I'm actually going to start using that. I'm looking like a back foot. That is hilarious. Snooch, can I ask you another quick question? Just quickly back to the castle. I meant to ask you this earlier. What was your first meal you had when you came out? What would you like? What was it that you really missed?
Oh my God! So let's talk about this, please, because I thought I was going to eat KFC, Burger King, McDonald's, everything, especially chicken. When I came out, I couldn't eat nothing. I had 6 chips, and because I had a fish finger sandwich, chips, brownie, ice cream. I had another sandwich as well. I had eggs and salmon. All I could eat was the chips. 6 chips. My appetite has only just come back since yesterday, and it's still not fully there yet. So
really, did that piss you off a bit? I'd be pissed off about that. I'd be pissed off about that. If that was me.
No, I am, because literally we've just been eating rice and beans, and I was like, there's no way that I'm going to go into my cupboard and start cooking up rice and beans. I don't want to see them till 2022. Like, no way.
Yeah,
I was like, I need to be eating some chicken. But it's
do you think though it's because it must be because your kind of digestion changes so much in that time, because you are eating, you know, a lot less probably, and it's not processed in any way. It's all quite sort of, I suppose that just must have an effect on how your stomach manages food.
100%, because before I went into the castle, well, during lockdown, I made the decision to do weight gain. So I wanted to get up to a size 14. So I did that. And then I was eating quite a lot. So I'd eat around 3,000 calories, to be honest. So then when I went into the castle, I mean, I've dropped 2 dress sizes now. So I want to go and get it back. But I was the only person that had to change trouser size, because they just my trousers didn't fit me anymore, and the belt wasn't even working. But I think your belly just shrinks and adjusts to the rice, because the rice, it's
your
nothing,
diet.
honestly, like it's honestly nothing. I mean, the first couple of days, I think I definitely struggled with it. But then after a while, you just get used to it.
You get used to it. Yeah.
And then you start eating pigeon and squirrel. Like, I can never look at a squirrel again.
No,
I just can't believe I ate squirrel.
I mean, some of the food was very random, wasn't it? I mean, some of the stuff they send you in.
Oh my God. When the octopus came out, I just couldn't. When I saw the octopus, there was ox tongue as well. I mean, I love an ox tail, but an ox tongue for me. But that tasted really, really nice, actually. The ox tongue was really good once you got out the thought of your head that it's a tongue. Yeah. And it looked exactly like a tongue. And even when it was cut up into bits, I could still see like the tongue. But it was good. It was good.
That is horrendous.
That sounds rank.
I know. It's the squirrel and pigeon for me that's the worst.
Squirrel, pigeon.
Pigeon.
Yeah.
Ange, can I tell you about a podcast I found?
I am always up for new podcasts, Pat. So you know
we love a podcast, don't we?
Podcast queens.
Absolute podcast, fantastic. Well, do you like films?
I love films.
Yeah, and do you like music?
Oh, well, you know I love my music, Pat.
Okay,
so you
well,
know
look,
that.
Edith, but I also love Edith Bowman. I think, don't you love her? I think she's great.
I've met her. Do you know that?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and she's one of the loveliest people, isn't she?
She's absolutely fantastic.
She really is. Yeah. I love her.
Well, look, she does a podcast called Soundtracking, and every week she talks about the glorious relationship between music and film in a way that's totally accessible to all levels of fans.
Oh wow, that sounds
Did
amazing.
Did she just give that an wow?
Wow, I love a wow.
Who's the type of guests do you think she's had on? Throw some names out at me.
Right, okay. Has she had Bradley Cooper?
She has, talking about A Star Is Born.
I mean, he's fit, and that film is amazing, as is the music.
Yeah.
Has she had on Sofia Coppola?
She has.
What was she on for?
She was on the musicality of Bill Murray's performances.
Oh, Bill Murray. I love him as well.
I love Bill Murray.
Has she had on another fit one? Jamie Dornan.
Absolutely. On his big beach singing and dancing number.
Oh my good Lord.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest one I want to know about, has Edith had on Quentin Tarantino?
She has.
Right, yeah. I'm getting straight on this podcast.
And you know what? There are literally hundreds of conversations to enjoy, from directors, actors, writers, producers, composers, and music supervisors. There's something for everyone. Listen to how many episodes she's done.
Yeah,
she's done more than 260 episodes.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
Edith also has been busy.
Yeah, she's also told me who they've got coming up personally. Obviously, she phoned me and said, "Look, Ruth, when you do the soundtracking plug on Finding the Funny, I'll just
please,
could
you mention." Well, actually, Pat, she also rang me.
Did she?
Yeah, she did. Yeah,
give me the names. Give me the names. Give me the names.
So Edith said to me, coming up on soundtracking, they have Hans Zimmer, amazing. Reggie Yates,
love Reggie,
love him. St. Vincent, Chloe Zhao, Paolo Sorrentino, and Kenneth Branagh. And they're all in the bag, ready to go.
What a list.
So if you love your films, if you love your music, search for Soundtracking with Edith Bowman wherever you get your podcasts.
Snoochie, we always finish our podcast every week with something that's slightly more serious. I mean, we can still have fun with it. We don't, we don't go really deep or anything. But I think Ange and I both found it really, it was just really interesting on the show when you talked about perhaps some of the insecurities that we all have as humans. And obviously you spoke really openly about your birthmark and kind of the insecurity that perhaps sometimes you felt around that. And we'd love to just sort of like have a little chat. What was it like for you? Because have you always covered that up? Have you always tried to kind of make it not visible?
Yeah, so I started covering it probably just after I finished school, actually. Oh, no, maybe year 11 or something like that. I started covering it then. Mum had taken me to a specific place just because it was really like getting me down in school. And obviously when you're in school, like people can be mean and stuff like that. So I started to cover it up really. And then ever since I covered it, it was just a natural thing. So even if I went to the shops and stuff, I'd like even wear massive glasses, like, taking over my whole face basically, or I'd cover it up. So it would only be like my friends and my family that kind of knew about it. But I think even going into the castle as well, that's the one thing that I thought about the most, because I was like, oh God, like, I don't know what people are going to think. I don't know if I'm going to be cast, or like just having to get over that kind of mental barrier in a way actually was quite a journey for me, even going into the castle. But I mean, Adam didn't even realise I had a birthmark 3 days later after he came in. Yeah, we were speaking about birthmarks. I remember in there, this was just before we had to get evacuated for the storm, and Frankie's got one under her foot. So Frankie was showing her one on her foot, and then I think Adam was like, oh, where's, who else got birthmarks? And I was like, like, I've got one here. And he came up to me and he didn't realise till 3 days later that I had a birthmark on my face. And I think it's honestly like going into the castle was the best thing I've ever done, because I went in there, and also I'm in an iron about, the first day, should I cover my birthmark? And then, but I didn't want to do that, because then I was overthinking, because I'm an overthinking. I was like, if I take it off, then I have to be like, oh, this is my birthmark. And I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to go in there and be like, do you know what? This is me. Whatever. And it's just honestly the best thing I've ever done, because I love it now. And I think the mad thing was coming out and just seeing like such a mad amount of DMs and stuff from people with birthmarks, mums sending in pictures of their children with birthmarks, and like kids that are like 8 sending pictures as well. And I think that's been the beautiful thing for me. Totally. So I absolutely love it now, and I just think it just makes you, and that's what makes you like unique, and it's your individual gift. So I'm embracing it now, embracing the birthmark.
Yes, mate. Honestly, I just think it's such a brave thing to do, because when it is something that you're insecure about or you're a bit conscious of, I mean, I used to have like a massive gap in my teeth, and when I say massive, Snooch, you could probably fit another tooth in the gap.
Oh yeah, easy.
Or it was I had a really big gap, and I had it for a long, long time, and I was always really conscious of it. Really, I'd never smile showing my teeth in a photo. Was very conscious of it, and quite often I'd have little children saying to me, "Oh, have you lost one of your teeth?"
Yeah.
And it would really kind of, I'd be like, "Oh no, I just have got a really big gap." And I can totally relate to that feeling of I don't want. And obviously for me, it was so obvious because you can't cover up a gap in your teeth. It was like very obvious when I talk or smile or, and I mean, I did end up having some sort of work on my teeth to kind of get that corrected. But I totally get that feeling of just feeling like you don't want anyone to see it. I would, if I was around new people, I would watch carefully how I talked so that I would kind of limit the amount you could see my teeth. And although I've now had them like corrected, I do sometimes miss it because the amount of people that would say to me, "Ange, that was just part of you. That was you. Like, we didn't see the gap. We didn't." And I suppose that was probably a little bit for Adam with you. He didn't see that. He just saw your face as a whole and didn't kind of recognize that there was anything different there. And I just think it is so important for us to talk about these insecurities we have, because we all have them, whether it's, gap in your teeth or a birthmark, or even things like, people who wear glasses. My daughter wears glasses. She's worn them since she's about 2. And I know sometimes she feels a bit insecure about that, but that is just who she is. That's part of her. And I think the more we can embrace these differences that we have, the more beautiful people become. And I think that's what you've been able to do by being on a show as big as Celeb and kind of just being out there and saying, this is who I am. And this is
I also think as well, what an amazing experience now for you that, you were sort of put into a position where you just had to be sort of okay with it, didn't you? You had to just go with it. It was, you had been offered the opportunity to be on such an iconic show. You just had to embrace it. And I think that advice that you're giving, that you're saying, look, it's just part of me and it's part of who I am, is so important, isn't it? Because as women, definitely our appearance is picked apart all the time, isn't it? Like, she's too fat, she's too thin, her hair's too long, why she cut her hair? Like, it like, we are absolutely scrutinized all the time for what we look like. And I just found the whole thing, for like, hearing you talk about it and hearing you say how much it had affected you, and then seeing you like saying, well, look, I'm comfortable in my skin and this is me now. What an amazing journey to have gone on. Like, what an amazing experience. What advice would you give to a young person who's listening to this, who's perhaps got a birthmark or something that they're insecure about? What would you say to them looking back now?
Honestly, just don't care what anyone says, because I think that was the main thing for me. And I think because of things that have been said about it in the past, I allowed that to basically kind of take over my life, if I'm honest. I've even had like exes message me since I've come out, like, what the hell, you had a birthmark? Because I used to cover it with makeup. So even if I woke up, I would like sleep in a specific way so my makeup wouldn't rub off of that cheek and stuff. But I think what it is, it's just that it's you, it makes you, and it's a beautiful thing as well. So it doesn't matter. And honestly, like, stepping back onto what you said, I think women especially have so much pressure to look a certain way, act a certain way, and just be a certain way. But fuck the rules. Do you?
Totally.
And honestly, embrace yourself and your beauty as well, because that is honestly what makes you you.
Snooch, you have just nailed that. You have nailed that, Snooch, to finish our podcast. You've just bloody nailed it.
I just know this is going to be such a fun episode. Snoochie, we're so grateful to you that you came on.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, God, thanks for coming. You can hear Snoochie on Radio 1 Extra Monday, Thursday, 11 p.m. Obviously, you'll hear Ange on one of those Ange and I on one of those shows doing Mashup Magnum Mondays. So.
Yeah, Monday Mashup Magnums. No, Monday Magnum Mashup.
Monday Magnum Mashup.
And you can find Snoochie across social media. You can obviously find her on Instagram. She's at Snoochie Shy. And you were honestly one of our favourites. You were. And I genuinely, I'm not just saying this, I wouldn't say if it wasn't true. I was genuinely gutted when you went out so
we were
early.
like, what? Snooch.
And honestly, this has been so fun. You guys are honestly so great as well. So thank you so much for having me on the podcast.
Thanks so much for coming. We've loved chatting with you. Thank you so much.
You've been great. Thank you.
S to the N to the O to the O to the C-H-I-E, Snoochie. What a great guest. We're so grateful to Snoochie for coming on. She's so busy at the moment. Remember, you can find her Radio 1 Extra, Monday to Thursday, 11 p.m. Now, next week, we're also joined by some brilliant guests, and I can't wait to hear the episode. It's already been recorded, it's in the bag, it's going to be so funny. We'll be here with Ash and Chelsea from Ash and Chel's Life Stories. If you don't follow them on Instagram, go and find them. You can find Ange and I on Instagram. I'm at Ruth Corden, she's at Ange Corden. You can find the show on Facebook and on Instagram. Just search Finding the Funny. But for now, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much to Snoochie. But we'll be back next week helping you to find more of the funny.